We're talking about revenge now and the Indian brutalities, continuous Indian brutalities. After Syed Ali Geelani passed away, his family was barred from attending the funeral and his body was also snatched away. What kind of behavior is this from the Indian regime, and how did the Kashmiri people look at this?
It's a barbaric act. It's so inhuman that they've even forgotten the Indian state, that everyone has to leave this world. We're all mortals, you know, and we all have to face God Almighty, no matter what religion we belong to. And it was his last dying will that he wanted to be buried in the graveyard of the martyrs, and that was not fulfilled. And the way his dead body was ruthlessly snatched and pulled out, not even without a stretcher. I mean, you know, the way they pulled him out when the whole family was mourning after his death. He died at 10 o'clock, and then the family relatives were over. They were sitting around, and suddenly the Indian army barged in, and already his home has been declared a sub-jail for over a decade, and he died under confinement, such a great leader. And then when his family was mourning, the Indian army barged into their homes and they started beating up the people, and they switched off the lights so nobody can make a video of it. And the wife of late Syed Ali Geelani Saab, highly respectable lady, their daughter-in-law, she was beaten up, they were bruised. And all this news came a day after, because we were all in shock. And as we all know, that for almost 5 days there was complete blanket ban on communications on internet and telephone lines, and there was a complete razor sharp concertia rolled around everywhere. It was a very shoot to kill curfew. And in that situation, in the dead of the night, they buried him, they dug a grave, and they buried such a legendary leader against his own dying will, and against, following the ritual rites, the rituals of burying a man. I mean, the family, they could not even wash his body, the sons, ghusl, they couldn't do that. And they were not present because they were locked from the outside. When they snatched the dead body, there was resentment, the lights were off, they were trying to take the dead body inside, and they were screaming and wailing. And that's the time when the Indian army locked them up all in the house. And they took him to Heatherpura and they dug a grave for him. And I don't know what they did with him, how they buried him, who was around. And it's very painful that the revenge with the dead body, with the loved ones, with the relatives of such an important leader, even if he was not a leader. I mean, it's basic human rights, the way, and I think we need to invent a new form of human rights violation coming from India, what they do with our dead bodies. If you recall what happened with Maqbool Butt Shaheed and with Afzal Guru Shaheed, till date we have not received their dead bodies. They are buried somewhere in Tihar. And many a times dead bodies are mutilated, and they take out their hatred or immense anger. I don't know what. It's just unending revenge coming from the Indian state and their army.